Hey friends, good morning. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. You who are exhausted, you just got one more day. Just got to make it today, make it through tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, we'll have a little TGIF. But hey, I had to share with you just some stuff I've been reflecting on. I have had incredible conversations over the last few weeks with Paul Young, the author of The Shack, who's involved in this new docudrama, The Heart of Man. Got to interview Kay Warren for the CXMH podcast last week. And I get to talk regularly with my buddy Ed Bacon, who is so brilliant, so wise. All three of these people, brilliant, wise, kind, just so generous with their hearts, because God has been so generous to them. And so on the CXMH podcast, interviewing Kay Warren about her recovery from childhood sexual abuse, porn addiction, and the loss of her son, Matthew, one of the things she said is, I may never be completely healed until the day I see Jesus face to face, until the day I see Matthew face to face, her son who died in 2013 by suicide. She said, I may never be completely healed. She said, there may always be tears in my eyes until that day. And how gracious. What a gracious thought from this woman who is the wife of and the co-founder of one of the largest churches in the world. To be that honest, to say, life is really hard. Life is really hard and terrible things happen to us. We make big mistakes and terrible things happen to us that are completely out of our control. But you can still love and be loved, and you are loved by God even when your heart is completely broken. And then I think about my conversation with Paul Young that just released today on the Ask Steve Austin podcast, talking about how Jesus is with us in the darkness, even the darkness of our own choices, even our really bad choices, that when we get down to the very bottom, that Jesus is there, right? That whatever we bring to the table, all of our yuck, all of our icky, yucky, bad stuff, right? All of our humanity, all of our imperfection, brokenness, all of that no matter what we bring to the table, God's never surprised. God's never caught off guard. God never says, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. We are loved. Brennan Manning, let's talk about Brennan Manning. We are loved as we are and not as we should be. We are loved exactly as we are. And then I hear my precious friend Ed Bacon, who I adore, saying, we think that we are not one, but we are. We are already one, right? That we belong together. And Ed is echoing the words of who? Henri Nouwen? Thomas Merton? One of them. We think that we are not already one, but we are. We are already one. We are already together. We belong. And we belong together. And so in our brokenness, in our imperfection, in our lack, in our pain, in our heartache, with our diseases and our dysfunction and our mental illnesses and in our trauma, when our house has burned down around us and we're sitting in a pile of ashes, we belong together and we belong to God, and God is ever present with us. That's the whole point of this little conversation today, just an encouragement that wherever you're at, whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, you belong. Right here, right now. With us, with God. God has not left you, will not leave you, or forsake you, or forget about you, turn his back on you. Shame turns our face away, where we feel like we can't look at God face to face. But the father of the prodigal son comes running and says, no, you belong. Let me take off your tattered clothes and give you a robe of royalty. And those tattered clothes represent our foolish thinking, that there is anything that we could do that could separate us from God. Those tattered clothes are our limited understanding of God and grace. That there's anything that we could do that would keep God from loving us. And the Father comes and puts on a robe of royalty and says, no, let me tell you about messy grace. Let me tell you that you have always belonged. Even when you turned and walked away, you have always belonged. So that's it. I just need you to know today, no matter what you're going through, that you belong, that you are so loved. You got a question? You're feeling extra heavy today? I'd love to hear from you. You can leave a comment here on Facebook. You can email me anytime, steve@iamsteveaustin.com. You can join the Facebook group. There's a self-care for men group. If you're a man and you don't have a safe place to turn, you don't have anybody to talk to, there's an awesome community that we're building together for men who are interested in these kind of conversations. Getting really honest. Really, really honest. Love you guys so much. Thanks for being a part of this Messy Grace tribe. See you soon.